Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is an update for the Project 100 Uses Project Pan. This is a project I created and it was based on Too Much Tosh's 100 Club. What I have done is picked all powder makeup products, mostly eyeshadow palettes, face palettes, and Chic products. Products I know that I will never be able to finish up or probably even hit pan, and my goal is to use them 100 times. I obviously use them beyond 100 times, but I don't keep track past that. And in this update, I did get to 100 uses on one new palette, which is very, very exciting. And then I'll show you some other products and kind of see where I'm at with the usage. On my channel, I do a lot of Project Pan's Shop My Stash videos. I have separate playlists for Project Pan and Shop My Stash, so you can check those out if you do want to see more. I am doing several projects where I am trying to completely use things up as well. I filmed this makeup look as well, and it is a testing new products video, so I will link that too. You can check it out, and let's get started. Let's start with my absolute favorite blush ever, the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk blush. I have used this 66 times, and yes, there's definitely, you can see there's wear on it, but I mean, I'm obviously nowhere close to hitting pan, and I have completely finished several blushes in the past, and I know it takes a very, very long time. Well over a year it's taken me to finish an entire powder blush. So that's why I'm doing this project, because I want to get good use out of the things that I'm not going to be able to pan. So yeah, I've used this one 66 times and I love it. It's such a pretty formula and I love this color. Definitely probably the best blush I've ever tried. That's the only Chic product in this update, and I don't update on every product in every update because I'm tracking much more than what I'm actually showing you, but I just kind of pick and choose for each update. So the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, I have used this one 23 times. This is a very pigmented palette, so a little goes a long way. It looks like I almost haven't even used it, but this formula, like I said, it is pigmented. I really like this formula though. I think it is really beautiful. Both the shimmers and the mattes are fantastic. So yeah, and this one I have not used. I don't think I've used this at all this year yet. So I need to put this in my Shop My Stash soon so that I can get some more usage out of that. Then we have the Viseart Boheme Dream. Let me check my list. Okay, I have used this one 17 times. This is a beautiful all shimmer palette. I really love it. Definitely more on the colorful side, but these here are definitely more neutral, but stunning. Absolutely love it. And my other Viseart palette is the Warm Mattes. And that one I have used well over 100 times. That was in this project as well. I've been doing this project for a while now. I think I've been doing it for over 2 years or about 2 years, something like that. So anyway, that one I have had in this project. I got to over 100 uses, which is great. So yeah, now I'm working on this one, and I like the Viseart formula. I do. I wouldn't say it's my #1 formula, but probably in my top like 4, I guess. I do have a lot of my Natasha Denona palettes in this project because they're expensive and it's my #1 favorite eyeshadow brand. So I want to make sure that I'm using my Natasha Denona palettes. And this one is the Sunrise. And let me see, how many times have I used? Okay, this one I've used 41 times. This one I've had for a while. I bought this palette in 2020, I think. Yeah, 2020 is when I got it. So I've had it for quite some time. I want to use it more, and this is another one. I haven't yet used it this year. I do want to do a look with this for the Reviving Old Eyeshadow Palette series, which if you haven't seen that is just get ready with me using older palettes, because I'm really trying to do a balance of new and old makeup on my channel. So I have filmed looks with a lot of my Natasha Denona palettes by now, but definitely not all of them. This one is definitely on the list to do that. Another favorite palette that I actually don't think I've used this one in a while either, since sometime last year, is the Persona Identity 2 palette, and I've used this one 28 times. And oh, I didn't clarify, because people always ask me what I count as one usage. So for a palette, if I just use one eyeshadow one time for a look, I will count that as one use. or if I were to use every eyeshadow in this whole palette and create a whole look with that, I still only count that as one use. That's just how I do it. So yeah, it just makes sense to me. So yes, this one is lovely, very, very great formula and color story. And I have filmed a look with this one actually, but I'd like to film another look because I think that the look I did with this one, I combined it with another palette and I used this purple shade. But I think I want to bring this one into the Reviving Old Palette series as well. I think this is a beautiful formula and I really enjoy the colors too. I feel like I keep saying that these are my favorite palettes, but they really are. And I did just recently declutter my eyeshadow palette collection. I will link that if you didn't see it. So I really truly feel like I do love all my palettes, but the Sigma Untamed, amazing. This one, I think may be my favorite out of my Sigma palettes. I have 4 Sigma palettes. Like I said, you can check out that video. It was a collection and declutter. So I talked about all my palettes in that video. And this one is absolutely beautiful. Love it. And how many times have I used this one? Okay, 18. I need to use this one more. I really want to use it more. Very, very pretty. Again, haven't used it yet this year. It's still, you know, it's still January, so obviously I could not have possibly used all my palettes by now because I have 80-something eyeshadow palettes. But I really do enjoy this one, and I definitely think that this is my favorite by Sigma just because I really enjoy the color story, but I find their formula to be very, very consistent. So again, another one I want to start working on soon. Like I said, since the last update, I did get to 100 uses on one palette, and that is the Tarte Toasted. And this is an older palette in my collection. I think I've had this for 3 years. I still enjoy this palette. It's the only Tarte palette I own, but I think it's nice. Very simple, warm neutrals, nothing too over the top, but you can really do some pretty smoky looks with this one. So yeah, I've used it over 100 times now. As you can see, I have a dip going in this shadow, this matte. Well, I don't know if you can see. I've definitely used the mattes more than the shimmers because I like the mattes more than the shimmers, but this is just, it's basic, but I like this palette. So yeah, and I don't do project panning for eyeshadows anymore as far as trying to pan or use up eyeshadows. I stopped doing that, I think about a year ago. I don't even remember, because I just want to focus more on usage and rotating through my palette collection. However, I used to do pan that palette, and when I did that, I did have the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and that was my pan that palette several years ago, 2018, I don't even remember. And I hit pan on like 8 or 9 shadows in that palette, and I used it almost every day for over a year. So Tarte palettes are tightly pressed. They have a lot of product. So it's really no surprise that I don't have pan on this, and I've used it over 100 times. That is it for this video. I'm so excited that I got to 100 uses on the Tarte Toasted palette. I still love that palette. It's an older one, but it is a good one. I did film a look with that one for the Reviving Old Palette series. But yeah, I really enjoy this project because that is my goal with eyeshadow. I just want to rotate through my collection and use the palettes that I own. I don't try to hit pan or anything like that, but face products and lip products, foundation and all that, I'm obviously project panning those things and I try to finish them up. But because I have so much eyeshadow, I would rather focus on rotating through my collection than to try to hit pan on a few different eyeshadows. That just isn't what I want to do anymore, but it is what I used to do. So yeah, I don't know, things just kind of change over time, and this project just works for me. I enjoy it. So I will link Too Much Tosh because, like I said, she did inspire me to create this project, and I will link this makeup look because I filmed that as well. That is it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.